Guys, we got 5:30. Commissioner Simmons, oh, excuse me, Brenda Simmons, can you lead us in the pledge tonight?
Your lips are hard to break, ain't they?
Yeah.
Pledge allegiance to the flag
Of the United States of America, and to the republic which stands one nation
under God.
under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Roll call.
Jenny David.
Here.
Roger Mayhew.
Yeah.
Charles Wiltie.
Here.
Mark Serbrook.
Present.
Craig Scott.
Yes.
Item 2, approval of the agenda. We have an addition, resolution for the RV park. We are gonna put that underneath of new business. We're gonna label that as D. Move claims down and move strategic planning discussion down. Was there any other, additions or corrections?
Can I make a comment?
Any other, right now we're on the agenda. Any other additions or corrections?
I'll make a motion to pass the agenda with addition.
Motion from Commissioner Scott,
Second.
support from Commissioner Mayhew. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Commissioner Wiltie, you have the floor.
I'd just like to take the moment to apologize. I lost my cool at the end of last week's meeting. I need to do better. I will do better. And I just wanted to let everybody know that.
I appreciate that. I have a letter as well, as far as what happened last week that I would like to read. Perhaps the most visible statutory responsibility of a chairperson is to conduct meetings of the county board. A chairperson is primarily responsible for facilitating a productive discussion by managing time, ensuring everyone has a chance to contribute, and keeping conversations on topic, all while maintaining order and fairness throughout the meeting. As a chairperson, I conscientiously strive to see that all meeting participants are given ample opportunity to express themselves within the parameters of the board's adopted rules of procedure. This includes invited speakers, citizen participants, and especially my fellow commissioners. However, these rules require that I, as chairperson, call to order any person who is behaving in a disorderly manner by speaking or otherwise disrupting the proceedings, by failing to be germane, by speaking longer than the allotted time, or by speaking vulgarities. Rules like this are necessary to promote meeting efficiency and to prevent breakdown. I think we can all agree that the breakdown experience last week was not our finest hour. As a board and elected leaders, we must maintain the professional decorum the public rightfully expects of us. We don't have to agree on all matters. In fact, constructive disagreement is a hallmark of good governance. No matter how passionate, that disagreement must be expressed with respect toward one another. I pledge to continue my past practice of maintaining order and fairness. It is my sincere hope that everyone at this table is equally committed to that. Item 3, declaration of conflicts of interest. Are there any?
I don't have any.
No.
None.
Item 4, review of minutes, December 19th, 2024, committee of the whole meeting minutes.
I'll make a motion that we pass and support.
A motion from Commissioner Scott, support from Commissioner Wiltie. Any discussion?
Yeah, I just, let's see, fourth paragraph down, motion by Wiltie, second by Mayhew. Approve funding of the contract services, animal control. Just the roll call vote. I probably did vote twice, but you didn't have to record my name both times. Yeah, I think just Commissioner Wiltie's name is left out. I mean, he probably would look better if his name was Scott, but, you know.
Any further discussion?
Wait a minute, there was something else I said. Couldn't circle it on my computer, so. Can't find it. I'm good.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 4B, December 19th, 2024, closed session meeting minutes.
I'll make a motion to pass.
A motion from Commissioner Scott.
Yeah.
Support from Commissioner Mayhew. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 4C, January 2nd, 2025, annual organizational meeting.
Make a motion, to accept the annual organizational meeting minutes.
Motion from Commissioner Wiltie.
Support.
Support from Commissioner Serbuk, any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Public comment on agenda item manners. Any public comment in the phone or any public comment in the room? Any public comment on the phone? Correspondence. We received correspondence from Ingham County related to the reaffirmation as a welcoming community to immigrants, Wellvance monthly meeting notice, and a William Baylog Sheriff Department cuts with reply. Those are all on our iPads and it's all posted so the public is able to read those. Those have been received and filed. Item 7, consent agenda.
Take them one by one.
I agree. Item A, resolution in honor of Brenda Simmons. I would like to read that. Resolution in honor of Brenda Simmons, whereas on November 8th, 2022, Brenda Simmons was elected to a 2-year term on the Ogemaw County Board of Commissioners. And whereas Brenda Simmons previously served 4 terms on the board from 2013 to 2020, and whereas Brenda Simmons proudly represented the citizens of Commissioner District 4, and whereas Brenda Simmons served many roles in her capacity as county commissioner. And whereas throughout her tenure on the Board of Commissioners, Brenda Simmons demonstrated the spirit of public service through her participation on the West Branch Community Airport Board, Parks and Rec Commission, District Health Department No. 2, Northeast Michigan Community Service Agency, and many others. Whereas Brenda Simmons was a willing mentor for her fellow public officials, leading by example and offering useful advice. Now therefore be it resolved that the sincere appreciation of the Ogemaw County Board of Commissioners hereby honors Brenda Simmons for her outstanding service and extraordinary contributions to Ogemaw County. Be it further resolved that this resolution be included in the minutes of the Ogemaw County Board of Commissioners as a permanent record of the achievements of and respect for Commissioner Brenda Simmons.
Make a motion for the resolution in honor of Brenda Simmons.
Support.
Motion from Commissioner Wiltie, support from Commissioner Serbuk. Go ahead. Do you have something, Rick?
I do.
Oh, cool.
Wanted it, we got it. I did that for you.
Thank you.
Is there a story behind that? You said you wanted.
Yeah, she came in our office and one of my former employees, Megan Rose, who she now works up in juvenile probation. She had painted me one of those that says clerk in it. And it's hanging in my office, and every time Commissioner Simmons came in, she commented on it and said how much she liked it and wanted one, and so
So,
Very nice.
Megan painted that for her. So it's handmade with love.
Thank you.
Didn't want
That
to
is
see
a surprise.
resolution or just pass.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We appreciate you. And please stay involved because your opinions are valued.
Oh, you don't need to worry about that.
Item AB, resolution to appoint a member to the Economic Development Corporation Board. Hang on, let me get to that. This resolution is sponsored by Economic Development Corporation. On December 6, 1977, the Ogemaw County Economic Development Corporation was formed under the Economic Development Corporation Act. The act requires the chairperson of the County Board of Commissioners, with the advice and consent of the County Board of Commissioners, to appoint the members of the EDC Board of Directors to terms of 6 years. The term of Director Tiffany Schmeider Cups expired on December 31st, 2024. The EDC Board of Directors and the West Branch City Council have nominated Rusty Showalter to fill the current vacancy. Approval of the resolution will appoint Rusty to the EDC for a 6-year term to expire on December 31st, 2030.
I'll make a resolution. I'll make a motion to approve the resolution.
Motion with Commissioner Scott, support from Commissioner Mayhew. Any discussion? I think Commissioner Wiltie, you serve on the EDC board?
yes, yeah, going in I'll be serving again for this term. Yeah, yeah, we're Looking forward to having, Mr. Showalter on the board. We got a strong EDC board, a lot of good things going on, a lot of good momentum. Looking forward to it.
Any further discussion?
Maybe the mayor wants to say something?
Um,
The city council's recommendation, Rusty had to step down because he moved out of the city limits, but he wants to remain active.
Active.
And I think this will be a great opportunity for him to keep active in the community.
And he's an ass-
Great things he's done.
good, he's an asset.
He is, and he will be a benefit to the board.
Fantastic. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 8C, resolution to appoint a member to the Special Budget Advisory Committee. This resolution is sponsored by Administrator/Controller Timothy Delahoney. On January 2nd, 2025, the Board of Commissioners approved Resolution 25-6 to appoint members to various special advisory committees. County Clerk Brett Gildner was inadvertently omitted from the list of incumbent nominees for appointment to the Special Budget Advisory Committee. Approval of the resolution will appoint County Clerk Brett Gildner to the Special Budget Advisory Committee to a term to expire on December 31st, 2025.
Like to make a motion for the resolution to appoint the member to the Special Budget Advisory Committee.
Motion from Commissioner Wiltie,
Support.
support from Commissioner Serbrook. Any further discussion? Rick, do you have anything you want to add to that?
I feel with the budget committee and everything that the county has going on right now. Last year, I was just inundated with election stuff and I couldn't give my time to that, but I feel like it's something that I need to be involved in. And I've gone to the past couple meetings and I feel like we are moving in, or we have a great group and everybody I feel like is dedicated to this same purpose and that is getting us where we need to be. So I am happy to be a part of that.
Perfect. And it's a 1 year expiring December 31st, 2025. It's only year term. Okay. Any further discussion? All in favor? Oh, go ahead.
I was just like to say, yeah, Breck, like she said, she's been to the last couple meetings and it's really nice to have Breck there. She is a shareholder and I think it's important that she is there. We're looking forward to having her join the committee.
Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. 8D is going to be the resolution to approve an agreement for RV park management services. Can we entertain a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve it.
Motion from Commissioner Scott,
Support.
support from Commissioner Serbrook. Commissioner Scott, can you take the floor on this?
Yeah, I'm the chairman of the Parks and Rec Board. This couple here has been our caretakers at the RV parks for a few years now. Their contract was up. We just need to renew. There's nothing new here. They've been doing a good job. They make reports to the committee if they can't be at meetings. But the park is in good shape and just like to see us continue on with an agreement with them.
Any further discussion? It looks like the agreement is just from November 1st. It's going to be right November 1st, 2024 through October 31st. You guys do just a 1 year contract?
We do, and we're a little late on renewing this one here. Commissioner Simmons would probably could report on some of that too, because she sat on the board all the time. She was helpful in getting those people.
You're not you guys aren't real active during the winter months, correct?
Oh, no.
Oh, you
we
are?
meet every month, yeah.
Oh, I thought,
Oh, no, the parks are not very active, but we're starting to look at some things that we're gonna need this year. And we're pricing out some different things. Of course, Danny Johnson was, I can talk about it later. We had a meeting today. Danny Johnson was there to report about the high banks. And we also got some things going on at the nature park also. So we stay active with things.
They live right
The
there.
parks aren't active.
They live, these caretakers live right there in the house, correct?
They do, the mobile home that's there, yeah.
Okay. Any further discussion or questions? No changes to the contract, it's
No.
just a continuation.
Yes.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. So item E is claims. We have claims for a total of $108,722.36. I believe Commissioner Scott and Commissioner Serbrook
Well, I'll
reviewed
make a
claims.
motion to approve. You want the
Yep.
motion?
I will support.
Motion from Commissioner Scott, support from Commissioner Serbrook. You guys have the floor.
So it was very small claims this time. Tracy was out with some surgery and asked a couple of departments not if they could hold off on some of their claims. So it kind of exemplified some of the other claims that normally aren't large. They became a great portion out of 108,000. MSU extension, was one of them. Indigent council, which usually blends right in with the other costs, was a quarter of what the claims were, so. But no big surprises or anything like that.
The reason for the standout on the MSU one was because it's the quarterly billing, but there were 2 quarters in there. So it's 45,000, and we're used to just seeing 1 quarter at a time, but it was for the first quarter and the second quarter of the fiscal year. The other one that jumped out to me, and it's just, again, as Craig was saying, it was, you know, small, was buildings and grounds, and like $12,000 of that was just utility costs, gas and electricity. You know, when you look at that, and when I was looking at them, I looked at the usage on the jail, which is very small in comparison to what this building is using, which surprised me. Really, it's about a quarter of what this building is using. So I know that there's been talk of doing some upgrades in this building as far as, you know, utility costs, and I know some new boilers are coming, so hopefully those will be a lot more energy efficient, because we're using in this building a lot of utility costs are being utilized.
It's shocking because we recently in the past year started seeing those bills before we did not see
Right?
those. They are
Yep.
pretty large. Any further discussion? Roll call vote?
Jenny David,
Yes.
Roger Mayhew,
Yes.
Charles Wiltie.
Yes.
Mark Serbrook.
Yes.
Craig Scott.
Yes,
Item AE, strategic planning discussion.
Okay, as promised, begin that process. And what I'm just gonna call a pretty aggressive schedule. I'm gonna start with the end first. I would like to see us get this project completed no later than the end of March, first part of April. And the reason for that being is that in April, we actually set the budget calendar for fiscal year 2026. And I'd like to have the strategic plan in place so that we can distribute that to all of our budget administrators in advance. So whatever priorities the board has set at that point, that will be in front of everyone. And that is, it is a process that all of our stakeholders will be invited to participate at various stages. So it won't be a surprise as the plan itself gets developed. Now, to save time, I'm going to send out to the board and a number of others that I'll talk about here in just a second. Ask you 4 questions. That is for you to identify, as you see it, our strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and challenges. So the strengths, what things do we do well? Weaknesses, what things that we need to do that we don't necessarily do well? What opportunities do you see out there for us to capitalize on that perhaps we're not already, but maybe some that we are? And then finally, the challenges, which are really barriers to our success. So what are the things that we need to overcome to be successful? Now, this is a process that's usually undertaken in a group setting with all the participants who would come up to a whiteboard and start listing these. I want to make this a more efficient process, and let's get that out to you and then have you return your responses to me. I'll compile them and then share the entire list with everyone so that when we do meet, everybody has that to start with. Okay, so we're going to save ourselves probably a good hour in a meeting in developing this in advance. Now, question for you tonight is, this is an exercise that usually involves a room full of people like what we have here tonight. I've identified not only commissioners, but our department heads and all of our appointed boards and commissions who typically would be invited to a meeting like this to participate. I'll send the same message out to all those groups, and just ask them the same questions to put together the strengths, opportunities, weaknesses, and challenges. And again, compile that as part of the list that you see in the end. And then we get together, and I'm going to propose right now, just based on our conversations at the last meeting, it's a Friday morning at 10 o'clock on February 7th to go over this list and then begin the process of developing the strategic issues that we need to really focus on. The next step is you will, as a board, be asked to prioritize those issues, and we'll put some timelines on them or whatever we want to do, which will get us to where we need to be by the end of March. But tonight, just asking for your head nod, not necessarily a vote, but to really cast a wide net to get those strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and challenges. Probably put a 2-week deadline on that, which will give me plenty of time to compile it and get it to you and get it to everybody who participates ahead of that February 7th meeting. Again, then we'll be able to hit the ground running, start talking about prioritizing, maybe flesh out a few of these in a little bit more detail. And that will get us right on track to have this whole process done by the end of March. Does that sound agreeable?
It sounds similar to the exercise that we did at the airport with the MSU. Recall that?
There's a retreat.
Yeah,
So,
sounds very
meeting.
similar. We
Yeah,
did it one evening.
There's no magic to this. You're right.
I can't think of his name. Yeah.
Arnheim.
That meeting was actually,
John.
pretty good. It was a lot of information in a hurry, and it was interesting to see.
Right.
Comment.
Go ahead.
Is there any way we could start that meeting earlier than 10?
I just threw that out as we started as early as you like.
We just have some time conflicts that day, and the earlier the better.
We want to do 8:00? You guys okay with 8? Does 8:00 work, Commissioner Wiltie?
That would help me. I'd appreciate it.
What time are our majority of department heads here? 8, 9?
8:30.
By 8:30, yes.
So is 8 or 8:30? Is 8:30 okay?
Yep, that helps.
8:30 okay, Commissioner Scott?
Yep.
Yes, ma'am.
8:30. Okay, that was quick, and you'll shoot us an email so we have some time to
I will.
think about it?
I will, and I'll also send you the form to reply. So, but again, well, anybody that's been appointed to a committee or a commission will also receive this. So there are a few dozen people. And they're right involved with us right now. So I think it'll be some good information.
Are you the one that's gonna run this meeting on February 7th?
Yep.
That way it's
One more.
efficient.
Yeah.
Anything else on that, Tim?
No, that's it.
Unfinished business, any unfinished business?
Have none.
Commissioners? Administrator/controller report, item 10.
I'm getting us set up for our closed session. Give me just a second. Okay, you don't have, as a couple of you have noted, you don't have the written report in your folder tonight. You will, I'm hoping it'll be done by tomorrow. It is up on my screen at my workstation. It has been for a few days now. It's just been a matter of finding the time to get back to it. Few things though. Commissioner Wilson and I brainstormed with Julie here not too long ago about opportunities for maybe an intern, administrative/policy type person intern that we would utilize out of my office, but would not only necessarily relieve some of my workload, but also get a good education opportunity. I think this is a good sample, small government that any intern at any of our universities could benefit from. I could certainly benefit from some of the assistance and the ideas that we've talked about, particularly attending meetings like our opioid committee meeting and sparing me to have to do the minutes for that. I can't tell you how much time I can save by having someone else do that, and I think more efficient use of my time on some other things. But that aside, we've got other issues. For instance, we just talked about our strategic plan. This would be a great opportunity to not only get some assistance in doing that, but exposing an intern to what that process is all about and how it works. We don't have anything ready yet for you to consider, but that's just want you to know that's in motion. And I think I'm feeling pretty positive about it, that we're going to end up with someone here who I think we could all benefit from and share that experience with that intern. Second issue, we talked at the meeting last week about security for these meetings. And I just wanted to just let you know as a commission, this is really already baked into the budget. So the additional costs, doing just the quick math on it, it's about $4,200 to have the security person here for the additional time for these meetings. That expense is already baked into that budget. We've done that consistently for, well, the 5 years I've been here. That's just been a part of that wage line that's always been included. And I can tell you for the last 3 years in particular that I looked at it, this is an activity that has not come anywhere close to spending its entire budget. Part of the reason is these meetings were moved across the street, so we didn't have that added expense. Why do we continue that? Well, we don't know from one time to the next what additional help we're going to need. Never mind the meetings that we have. But if there were, weeks-long jury trial, for instance, that might compel a security person here additional time, we try to think about those types of things when we put the budget together. So the nickel version of this is we don't need to do any kind of a budget amendment, at least not at this point, to accommodate that because it's already in the budget. Could we save money by not having them here? Yes, and that's not required. Some of the concerns that were brought up at the last meeting were just making sure that the building is swept for anybody lingering behind. If we didn't have security here at night, they do that sweep in the morning. So one way or another, that sweep is going to happen. But I just want you to know after last week's conversation that it's not a problem, if you will, for the budget to have that happen. I don't know if there are any questions about that. I promised I would get back with you on that. So here we are. Okay. Last thing I want to share with you on next Friday, January 17th at 10:30 over in the annex, our 8-county regional material management planning committee is going to meet here in Ogemaw County. We have over the next 2 years, 3 different times when the group will meet here in our county. I'm going to just be very honest with you. This meeting, the group is still finding its footing. We haven't had much guidance and guidance that we dearly need out of the state on what this group really has to do and the timelines that we have to do it. The meeting that was held in December was actually down in Midland County. One of the leads down at the Isabella Recycling Department reported that the funding for this had not been approved by the state. We've since learned that that's not the case. Had it been the case, we would be out. We simply wouldn't participate because we're not geared up to spend an extra $60,000 on what is essentially a state project. But we've now confirmed that those funds are there, so that won't be an issue. You will be have on your agenda next week at committee of the whole are the bylaws for this group that each county needs to adopt. Now, the bylaws, as you'll read through them, are pretty similar to your own board rules. They say here's when our agendas will be ready and where they'll be posted and so on. But the state is requiring that the legislative body of each county adopt those bylaws and accept them. There's no additional responsibility that's put on this county beyond our participation. But I kind of agree that it is important that the legislative bodies approve those. So we'll be able to go over that next week. And by the 2nd January meeting, we can have a resolution to approve those. And that's conclusion of what I got. We did spend better part of the day, Commissioners Seabrook and Scott and I participated in the mediation session with our steelworkers unit. And I'll just say that I think went about as well as it could at this stage. We didn't come to a conclusion yet, but I think we're well on our way to where we need to be. And trying to think, we had the opioid meeting earlier today with our new reconstituted group, and I think that went quite well. Commissioner Wiltsey will probably report on that later. So that will conclude what I have for now.
Any questions for Tim?
First quarter results.
Yeah, we have a budget committee meeting tomorrow where that group will go over what we have right now for our first quarter financials. I will be doing a deep dive for your next meeting because we'll need to do our first quarter adjustments at that point. I will say, just as Commissioner Scott had asked, I did look at where we stood with our corrections budget right now, and it looks pretty favorable. It looks like we're within, at least for the first quarter, where we want to be. And that's just the surface look, the total budget. We'll be getting into it a little bit more deeply, or at least I will be over the next week or so, looking at line by line, troubleshooting, and figure out if we have any challenges we're going to need to meet there, and we'll work forward. The rest of the budget being the first quarter, no real surprises from what I could see. Things are either at or below what we projected our budget to be. So, but it's the first quarter. I don't expect to see a whole lot of anomalies show up at this point.
Is that gonna be on the committee of the whole for next
It
week?
will.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any other questions for Tim? Item 11, elected official and department head reports. Clerk?
Brett Gildner, your Ogemaw County Clerk, just to give you guys a update on staffing in my office, we are doing second interviews tomorrow. If those go well, hopefully we'll have somebody in place real soon. That is all.
Did you do training for the township?
Not yet.
Okay.
Not yet. I just yesterday heard back from the last new clerk in regards to, they had to set up a username and password for the state website. I was waiting for all that to happen so that could be part of our training. So they got that done, and then tomorrow I'm gonna send out, I haven't decided on a date yet. I have to look at my schedule. So I can shoot you guys an email too, just so you have that information when you go out to your meetings.
Because one of the clerks at one of my townships is struggling,
Probably the one I heard from last.
possibly. So it's gonna be a little bit of a learning curve, but there was a meeting last night and they're really struggling. So, okay. And I didn't ask about the training. I didn't want to ask in a public setting, so. Treasurer?
Good evening, everyone. Karen Pawlowski, your Ogemaw County Treasurer. Financial reports are on your iPads if you have any questions or had a chance to look at those. No? For my office, tomorrow is show cause hearing day. What that means is it's an opportunity for taxpayers that are struggling with hardships to come in and fill out an application to ask for an extension for 1 extra year to pay their 2022 taxes. So if you know someone that's having a little bit of difficulty right now, have them stop and see me. The show cause is from 9 to 4 tomorrow.
Is there a deadline on that?
9 to 4
Oh,
tomorrow.
just tomorrow. Okay.
Show cause hearing day. Yep. Thank you.
She didn't declare it, but it's her birthday today.
And today is my birthday.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
MSU?
Good evening, Julie Darton, MSU Extension District Director. I didn't come here with a plan of what I was gonna say, but just to address the invoicing. If you recall, the memorandum of agreement with Michigan State and MSU or with and Ogemaw County was signed in December. So that's why there was a delay in the first quarter invoice. Those invoices, as you would know, the rhythm of those, they come out at the first part of the quarter. So that's why there was a delay. And that's my responsibility. So I'm going forward, I'll make sure that we're on a schedule that conforms more with the county's fiscal year. I do have 3 fiscal years to juggle. So that's just an explanation. It's not an excuse. The universities in July to June, your county, obviously October to September, and then a lot of my other counties are calendar year. So I'm on schedule with some of those counties, not with y'all. Sorry about that. Secondarily, just want to share that tonight, one of the activities that's going on with 4-H is shooting sports. It's happening simultaneous with this meeting. It's archery focused, and we have youth engaged with that, and that'll be ongoing throughout this winter. And we're excited to have youth engaged and going and in doing that activity. Also, livestock committees and clubs have started to meet, preparing for the 2025 season and fair. So we're really excited that we have lots of youth engaged and working closely with the fair as a partner. Phil Durst is out of the country right now on some personal travel in India. He'll be returning tomorrow, hopefully safe travel for him. But he held a meeting in December inviting dairy producers to a meeting to find out about some different feed options hosted here in West Branch. really had a lot of great attendance, and we continue to be excited by all the things that he does. I want you to understand that every month he sends me 4 pages, single spaced, of things that he's engaged with, and I give you little glimpses, but I read it every month with great excitement, and then we have follow-up discussions about what we're learning. I'll just put another highlight for Phil. One of the things he's been working on the last few years is supporting dairy operators in the Ukraine. It's not something he has talked about a lot with you all. Maybe, I think he came to the board maybe and talked a little bit about it last fall. He's continuing that work, and there's some opportunity for him to get a grant, a national grant that would continue to work with USAID to support dairy farmers in the Ukraine, and with the possibility that he may be able to travel there sometime in 2025 or 2026, depending on when that coincides. So pretty important stuff that he's engaged with always, and he continues to want to work. So I'm really excited to have him. And our office is doing really well. So if there's any questions that you have, I'm continuing to work with Commissioner Wiltsey and Tim on the intern that may end up not being someone from Michigan State. I'm really interested in helping Tim find the intern that fits with the opportunity rather than making sure that that person comes from Michigan State. Certainly, we're going to promote it a lot when we get it all going. But if the person is identified from another university or college, we'll certainly, we're excited for that if there's a way we can be of assistance. The only other plug I'll put in is the facilitation that John did years ago with you all is something that I also do. If there's a need for me to be a facilitator for you all, I can do that at no cost to you. So let me know if there's a resource that I can leverage on my behalf.
I got your name now.
Okay, all right, excellent. Thanks so much for the time.
Thank you. Sheriff, Under Sheriff,
I don't have anything tonight.
anything Under Sheriff? Pardon me?
I was seeing if he was gonna do it. 25th.
I don't know what you're talking about.
It's gonna be a updated celebration of Vinnie Tomasi, our correction officer. who
Oh,
passed away.
okay.
Celebration of life is gonna be January 25th at 9 a.m. Service is gonna be at 10.
Where at?
Where?
It's gonna be at Sternos. Thank you.
Thank you. And there are reports. Oh, go ahead, Commissioner Mayhew.
Sheriff, I see your cars on the road. We are
Yes.
getting some coverage up our way.
I'm sorry.
I said, I'm seeing your cars on the road. We are getting coverage up that way.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
What way is that?
Rose City.
Guys are doing a great job for us.
Yep, the other day I went to town, I seen 3 states and 2 counties, so
They're out by my house too. Matter of fact, I
we're
followed
seeing
one
it,
home. He made a circle around and I pulled up my driveway.
so.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, Sheriff. There are some reports, just so everybody's aware, for building and grounds, information technology, sheriff's office, and the treasurer's report are on our iPads as well. Any elected officials, department heads on the phone? Jeff?
Yeah, there's Jeff from the Veterans Affairs Office. Just a quick update. We're still waiting on our grant funds to be released from the state. We're going to be having an open position on my Veterans Committee. Mark DeBoer will be resigning his position on the Veterans Committee effective 1 May. So he'll finish out his term. So I mean, he'll finish out it's a 4-year term. We'll have to find someone to fill the 3 years that are remaining for that. So that's probably the biggest thing there, because the organizations, he fills a couple of positions within organizations in the county, and that they're going to have to replace him for. He's planning on moving out of state, actually out of country, and taking up residence in another country.
Wow.
But anyways, that's all I have.
Thanks, Jeff. Tom, you have anything?
No, I'm all set. Thank you.
Did I miss anybody? Item 12, matters from the floor. Any commissioners? Motions for adoption?
Done.
Commissioners report, Commissioner Serbrook.
Myself and Commissioner Scott did claims. We also did Parks and Recreation this morning. And I'm gonna defer to Craig on that because I have been in this building since just before 9 a.m. And I've been out of the building for half an hour all day long. As Tim said, once we got done with Parks and Rec, we were into the mediation with the steelworkers, and that lasted until about 3:30. I think we made some really good progress. We're close. We still have some outstanding issues, obviously, but I'm very optimistic as to where that's going. I think the elected officials, as co-employers, they all sat in on it. Everybody was there, including the prosecutor. So I think they're pretty happy with the way things went today. And then after that, actually when I had my half-hour break, and then we had the opioid, and I'll let Charlie, as he's the chair, go into detail on that. So that's, I did West Branch Township yesterday. Nothing new and exciting really with West Branch Township there. The only thing is that marijuana dispensary that's out there by Walmart continues to have issues with not following proper procedure and things, and the township is in contact with their attorney in regards to that. It may or may not open. We don't know. So
More to come.
more to come. Exactly.
Well,
Concludes my report, Madam Chair.
welcome back.
Thank you very much. I'm happy to be back.
Commissioner Mayhew.
I went to the Commission on Aging yesterday and they're working on getting raises there for the people because the minimum wage is changing and they're gonna have that straightened out. And that's about it.
That's it.
That's it.
Commissioner Scott.
Like Mark said, Parks and Rec was this morning. We went over a few things. We'll be gathering some pricing and some availability on things like picnic tables and fire rinks for our RV park. We're looking at, we had some pricing done for modifications at the Pier Park, at the hall. We're gonna have to, as everything else, it's way up. So we're gonna have to focus a little bit less there. Danny Johnson went over to High Banks, had some really good stuff there. Their donations are rolling into their 501c3. He even laid out a 5-year plan on projects there. And that was really good. This Clear Lake Bar is gonna host another spaghetti dinner this year, April 19th, in the afternoon for the Deer Park, Nature Park. So things are coming along pretty good. Like your question, we are active with other things like that. Projects we need to look at for the summer, we're starting to look at right now, to get a jump on things. Of course, the RV park won't open till May. Oh, yeah, we opened up January 1 for reservations. And for Halloween weekend next year, there's only 2 spots left.
Open.
They filled up that fast. And then of course, all of our seasonals are already taken, and we have a waiting list for seasonals. We only have 10 seasonals, 10 that we allow to come in and stay for the whole season. But things are looking up already, and regular reservations are coming in every day. We're on a phone call system where they can or online, they can go online, do everything online. So they're coming in regular. So it's looking good. So, yep. We had to put a hot water tank in the caretaker's house at the Deer Park. It was leaking, and we had to put one of those in, so. That was the only real maintenance of in the parks. And yeah, that's all I got, really, because we're finally done with holiday season now. We can get back to regular stuff. I'll have a couple of meetings next week. to Go to.
Commissioner Wiltie.
Didn't really have a lot this past week. I do have a few items to discuss. Got quite a few meetings coming up. I have a good news report. I was keeping you guys all filled in on that lame duck that was going on at the end of the year through the state. We knew that septic code could be something that would really negatively affect a lot of the residents in our county. And I'm happy to report that the septic code, everything that was going through with that during the lame duck did fall apart. Now, I'm sure that with the new year, it's gonna bring, new legislation and it'll probably get back going, but for right now, it was good to see that there was no traction on that septic code, because again, that will affect a lot of our county residents. And I know with the Northern Michigan Commissioners Association I'm on, that is a really hot topic for us, and we will monitor that closely with our local legislators, because we really need to have a say in that. DHHS meeting, Mark and I had a meeting on Wednesday. Standard business as usual. Got a great leader over there. She does a fantastic job, and they do a lot of good things for the county, and they wanted to make sure to let us know to thank you guys because they received the payment from the county. Opioid Settlement Committee we had today. I'm really glad that Mark's on that board now. We have 7 board members. Originally, about a year ago when we started, we had 12. We realized that was too many members. We have cut that down now to 7. We know that after being in operation now for a year, we've got some real strong things in the works. We've got some real strong people working with us from at the hospitals, from, for example, with Wellvance, with Human Catholic Services. So we have a subcommittee that's going to start this month. And they're going to put together some of the main items they see that we should really think about trying to go out for RFPs. So hopefully next month we'll have a lot of real good information on that. Currently we have 600, it's over $600,000 that we had in the bank. And again, we've said this many times, we know the importance of this. I saw some information the other day. I read in 2022, over 3,000 Michigan residents were killed because of opiate disease and suicide. And we know it's here in the county. So we really want to do this right, but we want to be able to start making some strong moves here and moves that are going to be sustainable for the county. So really looking forward to a few new board members and the direction we're heading there. And we'll keep you guys updated. And just one more thing, MSU Extension, I'm the liaison with MSU, that was with them my whole first term. I think anybody that takes a little bit of time to educate themselves about MSU Extension realizes the asset they are to our community. Again, like Julie said tonight with archery, archery is a big passion of mine, but archery is shown throughout the United States for the last many years. A lot of students, even in urban areas, are getting involved with archery. And it's good for our kids. Our kids need to get doing more of this stuff than behind cell phones and iPads. And MSU Extensions offer a lot of these services. So it is important that we try to promote MSU Extension if you'd like, because there are a lot of services there and we need to let the people know about them. Other than that, that's all I have.
I attended a 911 meeting last night. It was a pretty quick meeting. They didn't have any overtime that is for this past month, and it doesn't look like any for the month of February for the schedule, unless something obviously changes. They've got 2 people currently in training. As you know, I've talked about this, that department's turnover for numerous reasons, burnout. It's a pretty stressful job, hours. That meeting was pretty routine, pretty quick. Logan Township, I attended that afterwards last night. That meeting also, I think it was record time. It was about 25 minutes. It was pretty fast. They've got some new board members.
Mom knows how to run a meeting.
Mom did a very good job. I informed her of that, that there's definitely a learning curve. They have some new board members, and I think the board members are pretty surprised by just how much the job entails. They have a pretty pretty complex job, technology-based, input data, staying up to date, elections. There's a lot to that job, and there's gonna be a pretty big learning curve. And unfortunately, now things are starting to, they're pretty much 2 months into the job. And things are starting to show that, they're struggling.
Tomorrow,
So
just to touch base.
not a whole lot in Logan Township. Unfortunately, I was acutely ill this past week. There's a lot of viruses out there right now. So everybody wash your hands, sneeze, cough into your elbow. If you're sick, please stay home. It is pretty nasty. It will knock you down. It knocked me down for a few days, but all is well now. I also wanted to acknowledge my 2 boys are here tonight. This is their first, so anybody that does not know, these are my 2 children. I want to acknowledge them. I want to thank them for coming and serving in this position as far as commissioners. It takes a lot of time away from our family. Going into the next term, this has taken a lot of time away from my family. So I want to thank them for being patient and understanding, and I wanted to give acknowledgement for them being here. So thank you, boys. Anything you guys miss? Forget.
Look like young men to me, not
Yes.
just boys.
They will always be my voice.
You know,
Any public comment? Any public comment in the room? Any public comment on the phone? Item 16, we do have a closed session, and just so everybody knows, coming back in from closed session, there will not be.
there might be there.
Oh, okay, so let me let everybody know that there may be some business to attend. Okay, so
So I'll make a motion that we go into closed session to consider strategy connected with negotiation of collective bargaining agreement under MCL 15.268C.
For
motion from Commissioner Scott, support from Commissioner Wiltie. Roll call vote.
Roger Mayhew,
Yeah.
Charles Wiltie,
yes.
Mark Serbrook.
Yes.
Craig Scott,
Yes.
Jenny David.
Yes. Bye, boys.
Podium.
19 and 23. Bye, boys. Like, come out of here.
You too, Karen.
Thank you.
Birthday.
Yeah, happy birthday, Karen. He's in his, just finished freshman, his, he plays football.
I know you got it. Cover what a pleasant surprise.
He got a,
If you want me to, I have it.
a full guy.
I thought.
It was either
Back and forth.
Yeah.
I just,
times.
it didn't get rolled up on.
Oh, I know. I'm
I'm gonna do one more year there and then open.
I'll make a motion to come back in open session.
For
Motion from Commissioner Scott, support from Commissioner Wiltie. Roll call vote.
Mark Serbrook,
Yes.
Craig Scott,
Yes.
Jenny David.
Yes,
Roger Mayhew,
Yes.
Charles Wiltie.
we are back into open session.
I will make a motion to accept ratify the contract with Teamsters Union.
Support.
Motion Commissioner Scott, support from Commissioner Serbrook. Discussion? No discussion on it. Roll call vote.
Craig Scott,
Yes.
Jenny David,
No.
Roger Mayhew,
No.
Charles Wiltie,
yes.
Mark Serbrook.
Yes.
Before we close, before we adjourn, did you hear okay? Did anybody struggle?
There's a rumble in the back.
There's a what?
There's a noise in the back here. I can hear. It's, I don't hear as good here as I do down the other place.
Could you hear or could you not?
I got 90% of it.
So I'm asking you accommodation wise.
I mean, there's a noise in the back and I can hear it and I don't know what it is, but it's just a dull roar.
Are there things you didn't get? Is there anything I can do differently?
Not that I know of. That's the trouble. If I knew what I missed, I'd have it.
Do I need to look? I mean, do I need to look at, will you let me know? What are you guys' thoughts, comments? I guess I wanted to
Well,
bring
let's
this up.
take a look, see if there is a noise.
Roger, is it like a light fan sound?
Something.
I am getting it too.
Yeah, and it wasn't at the whole meeting. It just last.
Is it your hearing aids?
I would hear them. They're buzzing.
I think it is.
I got them cranked up on 100.
And it's the last part of the meeting?
Yes, it wasn't the first. It was just before we went into closed session. Something in the back, just it's what it is. I can't. I don't know what it is. I
Do you
can't
still
see
hear it now?
Yeah.
My ears are ringing from being sick, so I don't, I have nothing. I have
I
tinnitus.
think it's associated with your hearing
I'm
aids.
not sure if I hear something or not.
And I don't generally hear outside noises in this room. But I hear it. It's like a light fan noise. I can hear fine though.
So there's definitely something but.
So
no,
what are
I-
your thoughts? I'm asking your opinion. We need to accommodate. We need to make sure you're
Right.
hearing, you're understanding, you're participating.
If I look stupid, quiz me up because I ain't understanding, but yeah, it's,
What would you like us to do?
I can believe I got it tonight, but I'm just saying that there's something.
So I'm gonna ask you if you're struggling, if you need something changed, would you please verbalize it to one of us or to Tim? So
Okay,
is that a yes?
yeah. If I have trouble, I will speak up.
That's what I want to make sure, and you verbalize that out loud now. Any, motion to adjourn,
Yeah.
support,
For
all in favor?
Aye.
Motion adjourned.
Never.